Because of what kind of society we become, it's often hard to acknowledge what my grandmother used to advise me to do, which was think of the good things. It was nice at the time. You know what I'm saying? It turned out very badly. It turned out to have been uh, founded on a gesture of contempt. For example, when I met Robert Fripp of King Crimson, it was a claim on Society for Continuous Education, as they called themselves, the Gurdjieff Retreat in West Virginia. He seemed very energetic, spontaneous. He reminded me more of Charlie Chaplin than he did the mysterious and strange professor that he appears to be, the parochial assassin that he occasionally dons as a Secret Service look. And, you know, spontaneous and creative and a lot of fun. But it turned out to be very fabricated and hallucinogenic, even though he claims not to be an acid rocker. He says to appeared on 60 Minutes with Colin Powell, his most infamous purveyor of mass hallucination in history, with his weapons of mass destruction when he went after the Islamic world. Of course, I trusted Robert Fripp's claims to be in sympathy with the Islamic world, but it seemed nice at the time, speaks for that. His partner, Peter Sinfield, is advocating for himself. He talked about a dog who was chasing his tailors and tinkers and so forth. David Shapiro of the Gutter Snipes gave me the truth about that story. They gave a dog acid and it was chasing its tail around for a really long time. Really sick, cruel people. And he says, "Oh, I'm Abraham Lincoln now. You know, I'm not a nice person. I do important things like Hans Morgenthau." I mean, what's the point trying to reason with him? That's not this girl. You know, it seemed nice at the time. Rose would come in the mornings, bring me coffee. We would sit, seemingly beautifully smitten with one another. I was certainly in love. It seemed nice at the time. But like Jackie Kennedy in the limousine, she was after a fatal headshot. Neurotoxin they'd implanted. She would give me this look, staring right into it, with intent to detonate. This is what they mean when they say things like Voyage of the Acolyte. They say they're from Amnesty International, okay? One of the principles of Amnesty International is you don't own the sidewalk. Sidewalk is for the public. Anybody who wants to can get on the sidewalk. Well, they have, you know, this idea that he who owns the streets is the greatest value to the Zappas. And I mean, it's absurd to think that they're Amnesty International. They poison people on the streets using brutal force, and then say, "Oh, we was just it was having fun." It seemed nice at the time that I went to the governor's school for the arts. because I was, when all was said and done, reflexive, meditative, lovely spirit writing poetry of some caliber, I felt. I meant it. If nothing else, I was sincere. But the governor's school had a way of circling back and making itself a nuisance. People talk about honor codes. They probably laugh, oh, Curry's dishonor. And what a laugh to hear Curry talk about honor. Well, this is the sort of frame of mind they brought to the communal seance of um, raiding the banks of risk management lucre for the orgy of obedient fams being run off the planet by a higher order. The duplicity of men and his reckless abandon suddenly becoming a justification for calling those people dishonorable. And of course, they say the only honor is to be dishonorable, because that's the mindset that the people who manipulate media and control psyches wanted. So it becomes this, oh, take all man, oh, martial honor, oh, self-sacrifice, my, the drums of the tunester. All it was a deaf kid saying, what gives, what is all this nonsense? What is it, they suppose we have a Bill of Rights, right? Don't laugh. I mean, supposedly these people stand up for the United States, supposedly there's a Bill of Rights. Deaf kid can't be drafted. So they just ignore it. So what? 12-year-old, we'll draft 12-year-old. We'll make him sniff nitroglycerin. That didn't seem nice at the time. Having Jewish friends seemed nice at the time. I didn't like it when he wanted to make a deck to me. I certainly know a lot more about his father's magical mystery psychiatry from Attica State Prison than I care to know. Emerald House seemed nice at the time. Before they poisoned me in the mouth, it seemed nice at the time. When Earth was in public school norm, it seemed nice at the time. The idea right now that there could be conversations about climate change and ecology with the United Nations and people sit down, negotiate compassion and concern. Seems nice. It's a nice idea. Compassion and concern. It's a nice idea. It sounds nice. It would be nice if there weren't people trying to prove they're a Dodge. If somebody gets a bumper sticker head, they put it on their forehead. They put it on their car. My gamer son wasted your honesty. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. So anytime somebody has a good intention, compassion, and concern, that's the road to hell. Oh, because it's on their forehead, it's on their bumper sticker. It has to be that way because the Luminostra decree. So when we have an occupy that's contemptuous of the United States, in what state of Washington, it's the state of Pennsylvania, they would rather rob the museums. From the look at it, Fripp seemed to be a careful man. I expected him to be honest, but careful. And when things got disorderly, I figured he was making some mistakes. Turned out he was promoting a terrifying gyration. But it seemed nice at the time to think that somebody who was intelligent as a detective might look into what really happened. Nope. Forget that. Adrian Blue, I met. He seemed nice at the time. He was just doing his way to do some laundry. I said, I'd like to slap five. Here's a Fripp postcard for you. I had no idea what he would be doing, monkeying on me. I didn't hurt him. I just said hi. He said, "You want to play in King Crimson? Huh? What do you want to play?" I said, "I don't know. Piano, lyrics, sing." I said, "Piano." He said, "Oh, Frippy Tune thinks that's a timbre instrument." The reason I smile about it is because it's such a happy memory, because I know where it leads. I raped him. I got him to cough up that Frippy Tune thinks it's a timbre instrument, piano. And you know what that means? That means I raped him. It really does. I was rapacious. I was a bedbug. I was a fan who got in his face. We all know what happens when you do that. I smile because the truth is the truth. All I did was I said, what's wrong with an audition? I failed the audition. At least I got an audition, right? He makes me out to be some kind of. They didn't even bother with the truth behind their tapes. They went and spread them all over the galaxies. They didn't even bother with the truth. Not the slightest interest in the truth. That's just somebody who's using credibility for the ultimate purpose of deceit. That's what kind of society we've become. Where people would rather be museum thieves than conscientious. How sad. When I was a child, I was surrounded by people like Matt Curry and Ward Moore. It seemed nice at the time. I remember JFK. What a lovely thing. I'm sorry to use that word, that phrase, but it was really lovely. Beautiful moment in time to have Kennedy at the helm. And when he was gone, I didn't know what to think. It really shook me up. I've never been the same. We became a paranoid society in the blink of an eye. When I went to the Pit News, it seemed nice at the time. Today I wish I had the manhood to take a couple of the envelopes that came in from the Soviet Union, but they always just sat there. Nobody had the manhood to look at one or open one. Not even the Trumpetunians. It seemed nice at the time. Elkie worked the desk. There were girls around. There was something to jump and holler. Freedom of expression. You see your name with a good article on Newsfront. Makes you feel like that. Dennis Schatzman, William F. Buckley, the voices of the people. But they've got this thing going where they're supposed to be a broadband for the going vibe. You don't want to do that; they're going to be merciless. So it seemed nice at the time, but it got ugly. I love Jeannie. She's a deaf girl. My heart goes out to her. Boy, did she ever help me. I went to school late in life, you know. I went to school late in life. Didn't give me much of a chance against the sophisticated Ivy League who somehow sidestepped what they were visiting on me. I don't know who got into me, but it's not so nice, most of it anymore.